I recently went on a search for the gravesite of my third great-grandfather. His name was George Washington Nichols. Now, he was buried at a Confederate cemetery in Knoxville, and I thought that I had gotten there, but really quickly realized that I was at a cavalry uh, graveyard. So I went ahead and walked around and enjoyed the different statues and headstones, all the uniqueness. So as I tried to figure out exactly where old Mr. George Washington Nichols was at. Now, in my research, I know that he was buried at Bethell. Again, this was a Confederate cemetery, and it was supposed to be in this area, according to Google Maps. So as I walked around, I kept looking at Google Maps and trying to locate the Bethell Cemetery. But again, while I was doing that, I just enjoyed moving around this cemetery and just again seeing the uniqueness that was there. Now, I was feeling very called to this area of the cemetery, and what you will see in the back there is a fence, and Bethel was just on the other side of this fence. I didn't quite know it at that moment. That was the direction that I kept being pulled to. And even after I left this cemetery on this particular day, I still didn't find Bethel until another visit. This is right across from the chain link fence from the Calvary Cemetery, and I really felt like that was where I needed to be, and I was right. That is Bethel. I just didn't know it that morning. On a second visit, I made my way to the Bethel Cemetery. You can visit the cemetery any time of the day from dusk to dawn. This is the Winstead Mansion. The caretakers of the property live here, and you're able to meet with them according to the hours on the sign for questions. The Bethel Cemetery contains more than 1,600 Confederate dead, including roughly 100 who were killed in the Battle of Fort Sanders. In addition, around 50 Union men and 40 Civil War veterans and several widows are interned here. They have a list of all the soldiers that is buried here, and it's listed by state. Here is my ancestor's name. Unfortunately, it is misspelled. It shows J.W. Nichols when it was George Washington Nichols. At a young age of 28 years old, George Washington Nichols passed away at the Confederate hospital. George married Evelyn Stratton July 1st, 1855. They had 3 children together. The children was James Dewey Jackson, Mindy or Amanda Jane, also known as Sis, and Bartley Richard is who I descend from. He was the father of Eliza and Nellie. I was lucky enough to catch up with the caretaker this morning, and she was able to advise me that George was most likely buried around this magnolia tree, though I was not able to find a headstone for him. Truly, the cemetery within Bethel, or the cemetery known as Bethel, really did not have many headstones for there to be 1,600 souls buried there. On the other side of Bethel Cemetery was Oddfellows Cemetery, so I gave a walk through it. Oddfellows Cemetery is one of Knoxville's first dedicated African American burial grounds, containing more than 6,000 graves. It is located at 2001 Bethel Avenue. This cemetery was founded in 1880, and it has, at this time, 250 headstones identified. It is deteriorating terribly, but there is a project in the works for revitalizing this area, and I think that is absolutely amazing. This cemetery serves as the resting place for some of the city's most prominent early black residents, including Cal Johnson, Knoxville's first black millionaire. Cal Johnson was born a slave to one of Knoxville's oldest families, the McClungs. Johnson's father, Cupid, was well known as an expert horseman, but he died before the Civil War. By the 1880s, he was involved in horse racing as both an owner and a jockey. And I've learned that he entered his own horses in Chicago's race associated with the 1893 World's Fair. I hope that if you find yourself in Knoxville with a little time on your hands, that you will also visit these 3 amazing cemeteries and pay a little respect to the people here at rest. I will drop some information in the description on each location.